Jump on here and talk a little bit more about my little 22 setup I got here. Showed you this a little bit last night on my introduction video. Didn't go into much detail because I just wanted to kind of keep that one, get to know you type thing. But anyway, so I picked this up here not long ago. It is a Savage Mark II FV. It is a bull barrel 22 long rifle, and I bought this to set up to be more of a long range precision shooting rifle than my 1022 was. I had it set up and it shot very well with the way I had it set up, but I've got that going for a different project, and I'll do a video on that one coming up here. But this one here, as you know, Savage is known for being pretty well accurate out of the box and not that expensive to get started in any kind of rifle with Savage. But their stocks lack a little bit, and I think that's just to keep the price point down. So you get a lot of good where it needs to be without having so much tied up here. So with that said, I threw away the Tupperware stock and set the barreled action down in this MDT field stock. These things are a lot of bang for the buck. The adjustable cheek riser, one knob cheek riser, the length of pull adjustments real simple with the shim plates back here, the aluminum V-block bedding block in here for the action. That connection is rock solid. It's a good mate. The polymer for the rest of the stock is very rigid. The barrel is free floated completely with about a 1/4 inch of a gap all the way around the barrel. So there's no way this thing, unless you just pry on something with it, you're not going to get the barrel to touch the stock at all. So there's no interference whatsoever with the barrel. The stock itself has got the M-lock slots on the sides and on the bottom. I've got a pick rail mounted on the bottom right now for my bipod to attach to, but I want to look at probably drilling a couple more holes in here and attaching a Arken rail so I can add a barricade stop on here. Looking at doing some NRL shooting with it, and with their barricades and ladders and barrels and cinder blocks and different things like that they run in their matches. Barricade stop is pretty handy. We'll be also adding some M-lock weights up front to help balance this thing out. I think right now it's running right around 12-13 pounds. I'd like to get it up around 15-16 pounds. Hopefully that should get it leveled out. Hopefully I may have to add a little more. I'm not sure yet. I'll play with that eventually. But back to my setup. The only thing that I've done to this rifle so far is I worked on the trigger a little bit. I took the AccuTrigger blade out of it. This is an AccuTrigger setup, but I removed the blade. Not telling you to do that. It is a safety feature. I just prefer not to have the blade in there. I'm fine with just this safety over here and keeping the bolt open. I'm not walking through the woods with a loaded rifle, so the blade, I'm not worried about it. I really like the original non-AccuTrigger group that I've got in my 6.5 that I'll go over, so I just got rid of this one. So again, I'm not telling you to do that. That's just what I did to mine. Also did a shim kit to take away the side-to-side play in here, make it a little more straight back pull on it and not bind it up whichever way. Let's see, the Big Daddy sitting on the top. Arken SH4J Gen 2, 6 to 24 by 50. I now own two of them. I'll probably end up going with another one eventually if I get another rifle. But these optics, for what you pay for them, you get a lot with them. It is a 34 mil tube, 50 millimeter objective. This one I bought, and the one on my 6.5, they're both MRAD. So I switched over from MOA. I've shot MOA all my life, so the MRAD is something new to me. So far, I'm liking it a lot. It is an adjustment to go from MOA to MRAD, but it's not terrible. The getting down to 1/10 of a mil on your adjustment, it's pretty fine. So really liking it. But as far as the optic goes, the diopter focus here, it's really smooth, and it's not easily turned, so it's not going to go out of adjustment on you from higher recoil rifles or anything like that. It's going to stay where it needs to be. The magnification, it's got real good grip from the knurling on the ring. It turns really smooth, and I mean it's once it's there, it's there. It's not going to just get too loose to where it starts moving on you. The reticle in here is the Christmas tree reticle, if you will. Really like it. The hash marks on it for the MRAD is really fine. It is a first focal plane optic, which is something that I've never shot before, and I'm really liking that feature about scopes, is the first focal plane. Everything just comes in and with the crosshairs, and I'm coming around to all of that with the first focal plane, the MRAD, everything. But anyway, enough of that. But back to this, the parallax on it is pretty true to the numbers. You might have to adjust it a little bit here and there to get it to where it needs to be, but it's pretty close to being true to the numbers on the parallax knob. The illuminated reticle, I haven't messed with that because I don't even have a battery in it, because I haven't needed to use the illumination, and I'm not used to having anything with illumination anyway, so I can't really talk about that at this point. But I will be shooting in a match in December. It's a 10-stage NRL match, and 4 of the stages are in the daytime, and 6 of the stages are in the pitch black nighttime. That match is called the Night Match Before Christmas. It is in Tennessee, just south of Franklin, Tennessee, and planning on shooting in that one. They do not allow any kind of white light, no flashlights or anything like that, so it's all red or green glow sticks, stuff like that. So I will be having to put a battery in it and getting the illumination going on this thing to help with that. But moving on, the turrets are just, I mean, you can hear they lock up really well whenever they get to each magnification point. Zero stop is very easy to set on this thing. Once you get it zeroed in, 3 screws on the side, loosen them up, spin your cap around, lock it down, turn your zero stop screw down until it touches, back it off just a hair, and tighten up the brass screw on it, set screw, and it's there. I mean, it returns to zero. I mean, it's just butter. Windage, same way. I mean, everything about it is just amazing. Arken really put a lot of ingenuity into this, and for the money, you're getting a lot of features in this Optic. They really listen to the consumers. They make excuse me, they make changes if there's an issue with them. They immediately go in there and take care of it. Update them, keep everything, you know, at a really good price range. So I mean, they're not overly expensive for what you're getting in this Optic. I've got it setting on an EGW 20 MOA rail. I found out it is not enough past 250 yards with it. The way it's setting right now, 250, I'm just about out of elevation adjustment with this. So I'm either going to look at like an Area 419 40 or 50 MOA rail, or I do have a Arken cantilever mount with 20 MOA I could throw on here. That would get me the 40. Downfall is it's going to raise my scope up a little bit, and I don't know that I want to do that quite yet or at all, so I may just leave it. I do have a trigger spring kit coming in for this. Lighten the trigger pull up a little bit. It's about 2 pounds right now. Kind of like to get it down to about a pound, maybe a little less. Not sure yet if I want to go below a pound, but everything about this setup is it's a tack driver, 100 yards, easy match. It's just a bug hole. 5-10 shot groups, all ragged hole. It's phenomenal. A lot of people don't think that you can get very accurate with 22s, but you can. I'm just in awe every time I shoot this thing, and it performs. Now, I will say that it does like the more expensive Ely ammo, like the match. Not so much with CCI standard velocity or anything like that. It does shoot decent, but the groups are not one ragged. I'd rather have a ragged hole at 100 yards than spread out over a 3/4 inch or inch group. But anyway, so that's this setup. I don't have any affiliation with either one of these companies. Arken, everything I've got I bought myself. I've done research on my own, read about the company for Arken, and really like how they approach their optics. MDT, I know they've been around forever, and they build a very solid product. Like I said, I just do my own research, pick what I feel is the best that I can get for my dollar, and what you see is it. And I look forward to getting on to some of the matches this year. Like I said, I'm going to be shooting some NRLs and my Ruger, which I'll do another video on that for some steel stuff. But anyway, for links to MDT and Arken, I'll drop them down in the comments. Do your own research, you know, check it out, see what you think. You know, if you like what I'm doing, give me a subscribe and a like, and go from there. But again, I don't have any affiliate links. I don't have any discount codes or nothing for the products that I'm showing you. This is just what I've bought personally and what I felt is best for what I'm doing as far as shooting goes. So that's it for tonight. I'll be doing another one. I don't know if I'll do my Ruger or my 6.5 next, but one or the other. The next video will be on one of them. So I'll let y'all go. Have a good evening.